Hello.
Hey.
Hey guys. How's it going, guys? Mitch, no. You died.
Welcome back to AGDQ 2016. The stream is powered by Twitch. We have another $500 donation from Admiral Borkbork, who says, as promised, here's the other $500. Goes to Seth Bling's Choice.
You guys ready?
Half a second.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! All right, guys. Welcome to Super Kaizo Maker. So what you're going to see out of these levels is much, much, much harder than what you were seeing in those previous levels. Mario Maker has really provided an opportunity for very sadistic individuals like this man playing right here, Pangaea Panga, to create horrifying levels for our amusement. So we're going to be doing the best that we can to get through these levels.
This level, Skyzo right here, my first time playing it, took me about 2.5 hours to beat.
Yeah, and that's we're gonna kind of tell you guys how long it took us to beat these levels the first time we played them, and then hopefully beat them in a lot less time than that. So.
Yeah, so you can already see shell jumping is a significant part of these levels as well.
So this is a very fast-paced level. You have to continuously hit the P switches and proceed before you run out of time. All of these levels have some of the hardest tricks that people have been able to figure out how to do in Mario Maker. That's the wrong way, Yoshi.
See ya, Yoshi.
One thing I'd like to say about this level, too, this level came out the very first week of Mario Maker.
Yeah, this level was kind of the one that started it all. This level was kind of the gateway Kaizo level because a lot of people who had never really played hard levels before started playing this level and realized, hey, this is actually kind of a cool thing when you can do these levels.
And obviously, there are many invisible blocks that are going to affect us, too.
Yeah, so a common element in hard Mario levels, stretching all the way back to the original Kaizo Mario World and Super Mario World that was featured last year at AGDQ, is invisible blocks. So actually, throughout all these levels, a lot of the time, these guys are going to be dodging invisible blocks that will kill them if they jump in an incorrect pattern. So we're going to be doing our best to give. Got him!
Yatta!
Yatta!
We're going to be doing our best to give what commentary we can, but sometimes you just got to concentrate.
So yeah, most of these levels that I've made have been inspired by Kaizo Mario World, which was a Super Mario World ROM hack, which is what gave me the path to build all these hard levels. And ever since I've created all these levels, I've noticed that I've kind of built a community of people who actually enjoy, who are actually sadistic enough to actually try these levels, which amazes me.
Yeah, eight of the 10 levels we're going to play here today were made by Panga.
The one that I'm on.
Including the one we just played before.
Yo!
This,
Yo!
This level right here is made by Dan Salvato. He was also one of the makers for the blind level race.
Nice.
First try!
No, die!
High five.
I know, I'm like, I'm nervous.
Those guys last time had it easy, I'm not going to lie. So actually, this is the level that Panga's playing right now. It's called Float Like a Feather. You're going to see why. It's a very creative level that was made by a level designer named Evil Ways. And it is going to use a lot of crazy mechanics that involve using the cape to float around.
Shit. Shoot. Poo.
That P-switch tower is incredibly difficult to deal with. True ending.
Save the Yoshis.
Nice. Feel good now.
So even though this is technically a race, like I've got my own little Pooh Bear button on right here, you know.
As well.
Which is this guy right here, this awesome guy here. So we're all in this together, even though we're racing.
I'd like to say you probably know the other three guys. They're all famous for their own respective games. I'm pretty much just known for that great commentary I gave for Mitch's run earlier.
Indeed.
I did fix the RNG for that level, or for that run. Oh, shnikes.
One thing I want to point out is you can't actually press start and then start over once you get the midway. If you do that, you lose your midway and you have to start from the beginning of the level. So we use the fast start over to speed up deaths, but once we get the midway, we actually have to let the whole death sequence roll out.
So the level that I'm on right now, Ultra Star, was named after actually and inspired by an original Kaizo 1 level, and
I'll finish it for you, Carl. But I got inspiration from one specific level in Kaizo. It's probably my favorite level in the whole Kaizo level series.
yeah, mine too. No, don't.
Do not
Start
start over. But it's just a bunch of platform riding and precise timings for all these jumps,
Didn't
which
even think
is,
about it.
in my opinion, pretty fun.
So this level took me about. This level took me about 3 hours to beat, and actually we've ordered the levels in general from easiest to hardest. So we're playing the easiest levels right now. So that should give you an idea of what you're in store for.
Nice. Save the Yoshis. Save the Yoshis. For the record, that level doesn't count if you don't land on Yoshi. You have to replay it, just for the record. And no leads. One thing, we've done these races. We do these races quite often. This is actually going to be the end of season 1, quote unquote. After this, we're going to be doing our races with all new levels. And no lead is safe. No lead is safe, basically.
Yeah, for example, you could spend a few levels, you can spend like 1 or 2 tries. Other levels, you can spend like 3,000 tries.
My first time on Ultra Star, it was 2.5 hours, again.
A common theme in these levels is it's basically never over until it's over.
It's all good.
And often the hardest trick in the level is at the very end.
You have to end with a bang.
By the way, I want to give a shout out to our guys on the couch right here. I'm going to send out their Twitch name, Jakku,
Nice.
over here on the right. We got Triwave, ITG Master right here in the middle, and 8-Bit Video Games, all underscores in between that, over there on the left. So give them all a follow. So Penga's actually entering Skyzo 2.0. So we already did Skyzo 1, and with the popularity of Skyzo, Ultra Star, and Bon Voyage, which you'll see later, Penga had to make sequels. Like any good movie, you need a sequel, you know? So that's what you're seeing.
So actually, when we started doing these hard level races, some of the first races included about 7 levels. We're doing 10 today. And they ran around 3.5 or 4 hours in order to finish all of these levels. So we've added 3 more levels, including the 3 hardest ones, that, you know, more harder than the other ones. And we're hoping to do it in about 1/10 of that time. So
Nice. Yeah, buddy.
So Skyzo 2 has the same theme of constantly hitting P-switches in order to keep the timer going.
See ya, Yoshi.
See ya,
me.
Mario.
See ya, Mario.
That spot is a little bit unpredictable because the bomb can kind of move in 2 different directions.
Oh, right there. I'm right at the checkpoint. I have never done that before.
Got him.
I'm gonna die. Nope. Oh, yep. Yeah, it's after the checkpoint. Yeah, I'm actually, what I'm doing right there, that death was actually to adjust RNG on the later level. It's kind of important. You want to make sure you have a good shell through. It's very important.
So I'm walking off the edge. No, I'm moving on to Ultra Star 2, which is also another sequel level. This one has some of the craziest platforming, or like so many of the platforms
I was
going
trying to
at
get back
once.
to the muncher.
In fact, the starting platform follows you the entire time, which is kind of a cool mechanic.
No! I can't. It happens. Nope. Luck.
Nice.
Ooh. Dead. That's what I get for the luck there. The karma.
Gotta go pretty fast at this ending part here.
So pals will only destroy things that are on the screen currently.
Yo!
Nice.
Oh, no!
So as we proceed through the levels, kind of like we mentioned, the levels get harder and harder and harder. So this really is anybody's race down to the very last level.
Last level especially, since it is one of my more famously known hard levels.
I don't think Carl's gamepad has the up button working. We're using your gamepad, right? Oh. That was RNG manipulation, me running off that ledge.
You can actually only make that trick on the 5th try, so. So the level that Panga is playing right now is called Panga Express, and it exploits this very, very fast moving shell in order to carry this, what is really just a really long bullet bill launcher. This was actually one of Panga's longest levels to design. I believe it took about 10 hours or so for the design for this one. And you'll see you can do many crazy things.
Yatta! Oh, thanks, man. We all really, really enjoy racing together, so this is just like another Saturday for us. Oh, I should move levels.
I was doing that earlier.
Yeah, I should just move levels. Oh, man. Yeah, what was that one?
It was dunk.
Oh, man. Oh.
Kaiser block.
Yep.
So I'm going to be playing a level called Bomb Voyage. Nice name. And this was actually the level that got me started into these hard levels, actually. Skyzo was the first one that I beat, but Bomb Voyage was the one that it just looked so cool to me. I was like, okay, this is something that I need to figure out how to do. So this is going to use a lot of unique Mario Maker mechanics that you wouldn't be able to do in a lot of these original games.
That's one thing as a level designer I like to do, because I like to kind of exploit certain mechanics and different things you can do with items, which you wouldn't normally see in like a 100-man expert, and can be really beneficial in hard levels like these.
This is my favorite trick
Nice.
in Mario Maker.
Yes.
falling down a pit.
It's a great trick, though. But that was all part of the RNG manipulation for the last part. So like we said, no lead is safe in these races, ever.
Yeah, and there's actually an unintended strat for this section that you might see Mitch do. I actually discovered it, but I refused to do it because that strat just looks so cool.
Okay, now this end part that Carl's coming up to actually, I couldn't do it originally, so I just took Yoshi and jumped him over there and jumped him back.
Oof.
Could not do it the right way. The cheese, as they call it.
I guess one thing to talk about with Panga Express is in Mario Maker there are actually 3 different scroll speeds, but the thing is the fastest scroll speed isn't fast enough to my liking, so that's where this level was born into. It can actually be faster, but that might be a little too crazy.
And I just got the idea for Panga Express 2 in your head.
I know what I'm doing after ADDQ.
So Panga Express was a long one for me. That one took me about 8 hours. Same with Bon Voyage, my first playthrough.
The hardest trick is fitting through the gap at the end.
So the final level in this is the infamous P-break.
Oh wait, we got.
Oh wait,
You
I'm
have-
just
you have
kidding.
pro-
I'm
you have
lying.
Propeller.
Dude, we're skipping. We
I'm
don't have
skipping
skips.
things. I'm
That was for
lying.
It Ain't Easy Being Cheesy. We don't got skips.
Yeah, buddy.
So this is actually the only new Super Mario Bros. Themed level you're going to see, and it makes use of the propeller item for great effect.
And we should talk about why we're not going to have a Super Mario Bros. 3 level in this race. It's not good in Mario Maker, especially for us two Mario 3 runners over here. It's very, very slow. The mechanics are completely different. All these games are actually based off the mechanics for New Super Mario Brothers. So Mario World doesn't control like Mario World does on your Super Nintendo. The same with, you know, SMB1 Mario. So it's...
Swag. Oh, I missed it. Ball. So the drill actually, and we're using the propeller. You have to drill through that block right there, and it's actually really, really finicky. There are only certain intervals where you can use the drill. It looks like the easiest part of the level, but it's actually the hardest part of the level. So you have to time the drill very, very carefully, or it won't work at all. There it is.
Oh. That jumps so hard.
The jump into the pipe at the end of Panga Express is probably the hardest part of the level.
Yeah. I don't even know how that happened. All these levels are out there too, just like the blind level race. Most of these have been out for a long, long time. You should definitely check out Panga's levels if you're interested in Kaizo levels. There's also a lot of great guys out there making great Kaizo levels.
You know, a lot of people will ask, like, well, why the heck would you play these levels anyway? Like, this doesn't seem like a good thing to do. Why would you ever want to play these? But really, nothing compares to the feeling that you get when you finally do beat one of these levels. All right, so the level that Panga is playing right now is his most played, most popular level, P-Break. It was at one point considered the hardest level that had ever been made in Super Mario Maker. It has it was around 3.5 million attempts, but a I think it's, how many zeros we got? 0.01% clear rate. So that means that out of every about 10,000 attempts, it gets only one clear. And honestly, probably about half of all of those clears are just us four beating it over and over and over again. So for P-Break, actually, we kind of skipped over a few of these, but it took about...
Yeah, my first time through P-Break,
Nice,
my
Mitch.
first time
Nice,
through
Mitch.
P-Break was
Nice.
27 hours to get this level one time.
Exactly. So that, just to reiterate that, it took him 20, and at similar times for all of us, it took 27 hours just to beat the level once. When we were first designing this race, like 2 months ago, we never thought that it would be possible to play this level for you guys live on stream. It's the least marathon safe thing you could imagine. But
Also,
See you later.
yeah, the strats have changed a lot too. So you're going to see the strat that Panga's using right now for this second portion. That's not what was intended at all. Originally, you had to do this really intricate lining up of the shells, throw them at the right time, and then you'll see this falling beetle. You have to hit that beetle up. This is going to be a horrible explanation. I know none of you are going to get this, but I'm going to say it anyway. You have to hit the beetle up with your helmet, which is a Mario Maker only mechanic. You can just see Mitch use the alt strat right there. No. And then shoot the beetle through the blocks there that he's going to skip. Yeah. That's the speed strat. But again, I'm not even that worried yet. These last two maneuvers could take.
They can take a while.
They could take a while.
It's not that easy.
Yeah.
So on Mitch's side, you're seeing the alternate strat, aka the cheese strat, for that section.
Yeah, this is. I came up with this actually during my playthrough of it because I quite simply couldn't do the normal strat.
Nice.
And one day I was just like, why don't I just jump Yoshi over there?
Got this.
Ooh.
I know now you've played Mario 3, you've played Mario Maker, now New Soup. The Mitch Flower Power Block, ladies and gentlemen. Oh man.
One of the things that I really like about Mario Maker is people.
No.
Oh.
That's gonna cost a little time.
Did you reset the
Well.
checkpoint?
No. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Oh, but as I was saying, one of the things I really like about Mario Maker is how it's given people just really an option to just completely explore all of the intricate ways and cool ways that you can use just, basic objects in Mario, like all of these crazy things you can do with P-switches and shells.
All right, so right here is we're gonna use an alternate strat to. Well, never mind.
Never mind.
Yeah, that's the jump that pains us the most, I would say.
It's a really tough jump.
It's kind of hard to describe what it's like playing a level for 20 hours. Oh, nice helmet. Only to get to the very last jump and then die.
Just to give an idea of that, I recently played a level called Val's Airspace that took me 100 hours on stream to beat. I made the final jump about 42 times, and each one of those times I shed a tear.
Oh man.
Sure. Yeah.
Got him.
Oh, wait,
No.
wait. That could be bad.
Well, I mean, as long as we're here, you know. This is a good time to read donations, actually. This would be great.
Sounds good. We have a $250 donation from Norbert Noodle, who says, Yata.
So, real quick, for anybody wondering, we got some guys back here with some yata signs, and so that I believe anyway is the Japanese for "I did it," and it comes from a video that you could find on YouTube if you just search for Panga P-Break of a Japanese streamer who I believe spent upwards of 50+ hours beating P-Break. And the scream that he lets out when he finally beats the level is where the yata comes from. So now we always say that in his honor.
Hiroki.
All right, we have a $100 donation from Steve Wang, who says, this donation is from Area 51's parents. We challenge all the other parents of online streamers to match our donation.
Where you at, Mom?
Super secret stuff here.
I think she just sent me a text.
Skyway to show.
We have a $100 donation from Leetnas, who says, this donation is a shout out to TryHex. I was so proud of my level I made. He played it and found cheese within like 3 minutes. Some may be disappointed, but I found it amazing. Keep killing this run, guys.
Yeah, I'll take it during that. Oh, yeah, switch. For the record, my mom just sent me a text that said I gave a donation too. She's yelling at you about it. I don't know what name she put it under. Probably Mama Poo or something. Okay, well now Carl's just showing off. They're hard levels, man. They're hard levels.
All right, guys.
We can call it?
Last try.
One more try.
You got this, Mitch.
Hey, guys, give it up for Mitch Flower Power, who's been up for 2 straight hours right here.
To be honest,
for everything.
That race could have gone either way and has gone any.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, okay.
That race went a lot better than we thought it would.
Yeah.
A lot better.
So actually, the record holder for this particular race is actually this man right here, Mr. Graham Pooh Bear. So give it up again for these two guys.
Yeah, for the record, I did these 10 levels without checkpoint actually a week before here at 16 minutes 50 seconds with no checkpoint. So, and the best of sums is 11:50. That would be no deaths throughout anything. So that's our best time possible. So, yeah.
Anyway,
So
hope
that's
you
it.
guys enjoyed Mario Maker Hard Levels.
Coming up next is an interview with Panga, Dram, and Trihex. We'll be right back.
Need your help. Hey guys, what an insanely amazing event. I mean, a lot of people are skeptical about Super Mario Maker, but I hope now, after watching those 2 races, that you guys see that there is promise there in speedrunning. We're here with Dram, Trihex, and Pangea Panga. Dram and Trihex, of course, being on opposing teams in the blind levels race, and Panga having created one of the blind levels, as well as 8 of the 10 hard levels, and participating in the hard level race himself. So, I wanted to ask you guys, because this was really an insanely amazing race, and I just wanted to kind of feel it out from you. So, Dram, tell me a little bit about how you guys prepared, because, I mean, you had no time to prepare. Obviously, you didn't know the levels coming into it.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you only met your teammates, or you were only able to like practice with your teammates at the event itself. So what did you do with that time to prepare?
Yeah, the 4 of us just got together a couple times and just tried to practice the teamwork element. We tried to do Mario Maker Monday levels, and they didn't seem to work because sometimes Link was just beating them on first try, and they also had seen them before. So we just did 100 expert challenges and just focused on helping each other. So like if I'm playing the game, I'm just kind of tunnel vision, that's how I play, but TMR is very good at seeing what else is around, and we just tried to use that and practice that.
Trihex, how about you guys?
Oh man, we were really cocky. I was like, well, what can you do to prepare? It's all blind level. So like me and Mitch were just like, all right, look, we're gonna swag out hardcore. I'm gonna look for cheese. Like I know that they probably made everything cheese proof. It's all gonna be the intended route, but we kind of played it cool and relaxed for a very long time. Like I waited until like day of to actually figure out with Mitch what we wanted to do teamwork wise. And that kind of showed with like the lack of synergy a little bit. Like they definitely caught on to every obstacle early on compared to us. But yeah.
Dram, you were telling me a little bit about how you guys prepared not only in the Mario Maker game, but also kind of how you set up your organization and your kind of order and how you pass the controller. Could you say a bit about that?
Oh yeah, that was actually TMR's idea. Because we're playing on these small little LCDs, and it's impossible for 4 people. It was actually when we were playing a couple nights ago, it was impossible to play when you're on a crappy angle. So TMR figured out, like, why not just have 2 people in the front, and then each side swaps. So then, you're never crossing cables or anything, and it worked out well. They ended up using it for both teams, and it saved stage space.
Yeah. How did you guys, we'll start with you, Dram. How did you guys find that communication during the race happen? Because, I mean, only one of the 4 players is playing at a time, and only one of those 4 players is able to experience the level. So if you messed up in an area, did you rely on your teammates to kind of notice that, or did you pass on some kind of information? Because I noticed you were communicating to your teammates as much as you could. Like after you ran into something, maybe you would pass on some information. So I mean, was it more like that?
Yeah, that's about it. And then also, if I died and didn't know why, I would ask. That actually happened a couple times, where I'd be like, what do I do next time? And it just helps get over the obstacles quicker, I guess.
Trihex, were you finding that was the same with your team?
Actually, absolutely. There was even a point, like in I think it was the 6th level. It was the S&B level with the shell helmet. There was a point where I didn't know what to do next. I literally paused and I asked Mitch, "Yo, what do you think? Where I gotta go? Where I gotta go? Where I gotta go? Should I went back up there? Should I have to backtrack?" And of course, typical of me, I was overthinking the solution there because like it shouldn't be that difficult for that kind of level. So we communicated that, and I continued to go forward. But yeah, whenever any of us would die, typically I would ask Andy or I would tell Mitch why I died or what I was trying to go for there. And we always tried to accelerate the progress each time.
Gotcha. Also, Trihex, around the 4th or 5th level, unfortunately you guys did start to fall behind. So I was wondering though, were you guys able to find the time to look over at the opposing team screen to kind of get some intel on the levels that were to come?
We were doing that. Okay, so we fell behind pretty bad when they cleared the 3rd level and we were still on the 1st level. So once there was like a 2-level gap between both of us, it was too much information to try to carry over because I still had to look at our screen to see why my teammate's dying right now and what he's progressing on. So we were trying to, but it was too much at that point, unfortunately.
Now, as far as loud audience response goes, this was among the, the greatest of the great that's ever been seen in the GDQ. And I mean, maybe you guys can see it on the camera, but this room that we're in is really deep, and this room was packed. Hundreds of viewers easily, hundreds of spectators. So every time that there was a close death or you finished a level, there was just such an uproar. Was that kind of pressure on your mind at all as you were going through these levels?
I wouldn't call it pressure. I'd call it like encouragement. And it also has a lot to do with the way these guys design the levels. And it called for that. And I don't know, you could speak more to this if you had that in mind. Like Dan especially, with where he had the wall jumps and then he had 4, 3, 2, 1. I mean, that just begs for the, people to go crazy over.
And that's a great time, because now I want to talk to you, Panga, about how exactly you guys went into designing these levels. Because Dan did mention a little bit how you would talk on Skype about kind of what you were doing. But in addition to that, can you elaborate a little bit on what exactly you were going for with the level design of these blind maps?
Prioritizing enjoyment, really, is like what we want to do is get the audience to be excited all the time, cheering. We want them to get engaged, which was like our main priority. And then on top of that, we just laid out a bunch of level themes, little different ideas we could bounce around, and then eventually we just like narrowed it down to like who would be the best fit for this specific design. And eventually that's how we designed each of these levels for these guys to play. Cool.
And as far as kind of planning out beyond that, did each of you make a set number of levels, or were you did you all make a bunch of levels, and did you as a team come together and decide kind of which were the best candidates for something like this?
We all first decided we should just make one level each first, since we had 6 people making it, and then eventually we thought like what would be the good number of levels for these guys to play, and eventually we settled on 8. And then, we kind of split the last 2 among different people, like how Dan and Carl made 1 level, and then Carl made 2. And Carl is a great designer. He wanted to make the extra levels, so we let him do it.
Now, there's many ways to go about making levels in Mario Maker, and multiple approaches you can have in mind. Like, you can have kind of more puzzle-oriented. You can make them straight mean and Kaizo. And you guys were cruel with some of these spots. But was there any kind of like category or umbrella term you were kind of thinking of approaching making these levels?
We generally tried to think as a player, as a blind person, what would we do next if we were presented in this scenario? So we kind of didn't want to like trick them too much.
Tri-X is losing it here.
Maybe once or twice we throw in some tricks to throw you off, but other than that, that's like what I made our levels behind.
Gotcha. And what were your testing methods like for these?
We picked random people. Well, not random. We picked like good level people. Like for example, some of the hard level people, like Pooh, would play some of these levels and give us feedback. And then we'd play each other's levels to see like what should we do? What can we make easier? What can we make harder? What should we get rid of? And that's how we basically determined if the levels were good length and good difficulty.
Gotcha. So now moving into the hard levels race, you're an interesting case because you not only made 8 of the 10 levels that were played today, but you were also, of course, one of the racers themselves. So you designed one of the blind levels, but then, of course, moving into the hard levels, what was your mentality in terms of level design for those? Because, I mean, not to praise you too much, but your levels are considered consistently good design, really impressive stuff. So it's interesting with so much garbage, for lack of a better term, out there in the Mario Maker level set, to have someone that's so consistently able to make solid levels. So for these hard levels in particular, what is it about your levels that make them successful Kaizo, super difficult levels that are still fun, but not just kind of in-your-face, trolly, hidden blocks everywhere kinds of levels that so many streamers might get tired of seeing?
Generally, I like to think of a theme before I make a level. Before anything, I make a level, before I place down my first block, I like to brainstorm, what can I do with this specific item or theme? And then I try to build around it. I've seen too many levels in 100-Man Expert where it's just like the triple stack Bowsers, the enemy spam.
Right.
And then I'm just learning from that, like that's not fun. If I was in that situation, I would not have fun, which is why I always like to think as myself as a player more than a designer. If I put a block here or if I place an enemy here, would it really be unfair? Because I'm all about fairness in the sense. I mean, sometimes I like to throw in some trolly things because I'm a mean person at times, but overall, like, level design is always my top priority, and then difficulty will follow.
Has level design kind of always been an interest of yours, or have you really kind of found an opening with this Mario Maker?
I've wanted to make levels since I was a little kid. I've realized that ever since I was younger, I've enjoyed making levels for other people to play, which is what I did before Mario Maker. I was known for making Super Mario World hacks, which other people would play, such as Dram. But Kaizo is definitely an inspiration for me, and that's what really kind of sent me into the road of hard, difficult levels.
Gotcha. So this has been such an interesting idea. Whoever has input on this, please feel free to speak up. But how exactly did this idea come up in the first place?
It's Carl.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was Carl Sagan. He's the first one who approached me, and I'm assuming you. And
Right, yeah.
When was that?
Oh, I don't remember. It was
around submission time. It was actually a spontaneous idea from him, like during submissions, honestly. And then from there, I was like, oh, yeah, that's a sweet idea. We should hop in and do that.
He really saw the potential in it. And a lot of people were like, oh, blind levels, it's blind in a speedrun marathon. And that's true, but I guess he saw the potential in it. I mean,
there was a lot of skepticism coming into it, especially about the blind aspect. But like I said, I mean, there has never been an uproar quite like during that race. So really fun stuff. So thank you all so much for joining us today. Really, really amazing stuff. Guys, we'd love to hear what you had to think about the Super Mario Maker races. Tweet at us with hashtag AGDQ2016. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you want to see it again, and all that jazz. Because this was a lot of fun, and we just love to hear what you think. So thanks a lot, guys, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Next up will be Super Mario World Zero Exit. And if you think that's, if you want to see glitches at their finest, check it out.
Welcome back to Awesome Games Done Quick 2016. Who's ready to see some Super Mario World here? So first up, we have the Zero Exit race between Carl Sagan, Dots Are Cool, XSV Area 51, and Seth Bling. Let's read a couple more donations first, though. We have a $50 donation from Unikitten who says, both my mom and sister's father-in-law were diagnosed with cancer this year. This community has been helping me so much during this time. I love video games played fast almost as much as I love the Yoshis, so let's save them. We have a $50 donation from Chelly Gel who says, hashtag SMW 2016 Kaku Show. Good luck on the race. Go fast, then go faster. Shout out to the entire Kaku crew. $20 donation from Anonymous that says, it's so awesome to see Super Mario Maker at AGDQ. Such a great game to see being played at a high level, and I will definitely be stealing some of the tricks from the levels from this race the next time I make a level. Yatta, also kill those animals. We have a $125 donation from Anonymous who says, congrats to Carl and Panga for winning the hard race. Shout out to all the Kaizo Mario players and level creators. We have a $100 donation from Sid333 who says, this is my first time watching live after binge watching the YouTube reruns for the past few years. It's so great to watch how much AGDQ grows year after year. Here's to many, many more.